First time on the western side of the Coromandel. I've done a lot of filming on the eastern side, but I haven't come up this way. Furthest I've gone is to Puru, so I'm on the western side. I drove right up, bit of a zoomy, sort of zigzaggy drive, hugging the coast until you get to the Coromandel Township. So hit the jackpot with the weather. It's fantastic. You can probably see behind me. Got the RXP. I'm just going to really tour around this time and just hopefully show you everything from a drone perspective, sort of first person, with the DJI-3. One thing I will note is, if anyone watched my last video, I was very surprised at the lack of speed I had on the RXP cruising along in a nice sort of glassy condition. I thought maybe I've got a few too many kgs, so the scales don't lie. I probably put on about 12 kgs in the last 3 months. So I don't think I can blame that on Christmas and the Christmas puddings. Diet I've got, I call it an EFA diet. It's basically an eat F all diet. Take out all sugar, take out all coffee, try and get rid of the alcohol. I say try, but I will get rid of the alcohol. Have a look at this for a beach. So again, this is a private beach, so I've got to be a bit careful. I can't cruise up past the foreshore. I will set the drone up in a second and show you what we're looking at, but I came over the hills and it was just stunning. Gone around Whanganui Island and now I'm sitting just before the gap, they call it, which goes between almost sort of a headland around Kaiuna Bay and Whanganui Island. So it takes you out to Motu Kakariki Tahi Island. Hopefully my te reo was good there. It's got a bracket Rat Island. Rat Island's a little bit easier, but I want to try and get it right. So I'm going to go through that gap right now, and it's not somewhere apparently you can go guaranteed at low tide if you've got any draft, but even if you've got a jet ski you should be fine. So I'll go through there. Weather's still fantastic. Wind's picking up a little bit, but there's areas that are sheltered, so off we go. Are those penguins? Is that a penguin? I can't tell, and I can't really get any closer. Don't think so. If you've seen any of my videos, you would have known that I'm pretty big about wildlife and trying to get close to dolphins, and I'm not having much luck. They don't seem to like me, so hopefully those are penguins. I don't know what they are. Jeez, imagine living in one of those. Even having it as a batch. That'd just be so great. And even now, so it's sort of start of winter. It's just so nice. I think I'm at Motu Kakarikitahi Island. I really hope I'm getting that right. Rat Island. And I've just found a little beach. Hopefully I'm allowed to land here. I'm just going to stay here just so I can get the drone up a little bit easier. There's some mussel farms all over the place. I just want to show you those. Certainly a very beautiful part of the country. I'm surprised I haven't been here before. I feel like I'd probably be here for a week just travelling around the coastlines. So I'll see what I can get done today. That's Kiona Bay. Somewhere on this ridgeline is where I'm staying tonight. I'm not too sure where yet, but I'm looking forward to that. This is so pretty. I'm just coming up on the mussel farms, I think, so I've got to be a bit careful here. I'm going a bit slow. I'm not too sure if there's a protocol for mussel farm passing on a boat situations. Haven't been told off yet. You probably just saw me back there. It's a really good example. I've kind of harped on about this in the past, just how good this thing, the RXP, is through chop. So I was going at a reasonable clip and you would have seen me hit some reasonable boat wake and I'm just pound over it straight. I remember doing that on the RXT and it was like I was initiating a chicken dance, just all over the shop. So really like it for that. I'm enjoying all the little islands, so I'm just basically island hopping. I don't know what this one is I'm sitting at. I'll bring it up if I can find it once I get back to civilization, but I'll keep going.
I met an old man. I said, tell me your story. He took out an old pen wrote something for me. Then he kept walking on down the road, and I watched him disappear like smoke. And I thought I'd just seen a ghost. Then I looked down at what he wrote. It said, son, when you grow up you'll be fine. I know you've got questions on your mind. Life is gonna happen ground. I met a young man, searching for glory. I took out an old pen and wrote in my story. Then I kept walking on down the road. When your time is up, it's time to go. I pray he reads what's on the note and takes to heart what I wrote. I said, son, when you grow up, you'll be fine. I know you've got questions.
Well, what I haven't got is dolphins, but what I have got is just complete serenity once that idiot on a jet ski shuts off the engine. It's just beautiful and there's no wind. It's actually calmed off during the day. I'm at a group of islands. I'll put the name up because I'm not too sure. I've just saw them and went over there. So pretty. I'll try and get some 360 shots, pull them up and show you what they look like. Other than that, I'm just having a great time. It's just, I'm very lucky to be able to do this sort of thing. And it's something I've been trying to work on, is just the gratitude side of things in life. And sometimes your mind, I've talked about it before, it just plays tricks with you and tries to get you to do everything, to stay home and sleep and not do anything. And I really try and get out of that and just get on the road, get somewhere. Once you're here, make the most of it. They call it flow state, trying to be in the moment as much as you can. It's a secret to happiness, they say. I definitely haven't mastered that, but this is something I really enjoy and something I can fully immerse myself in. So this is probably my flow state. So I'd encourage you to find something that does it. It doesn't have to be jet skiing. It can be anything. Whatever floats your boat. Gardening, pottery, I don't know, whatever it is. Bike riding, hiking, knitting. Doesn't really matter. Something that just puts you in the moment. That's what I find. Have a look at this. Here comes one of our Navy vessels. I'm assuming that's a Navy vessel. Otherwise someone with a lot of money and an inkling for very, very grey dull Navy-like paint jobs on their boat. Just coming in a bit closer to one of these islands. There's a group of quite a few of them. This will be 8 to 10 islands. Very pretty, kind of rugged. There's nowhere to really beach. I don't think you're supposed to either. How calm is it? Crazy. Just so calm. Well, those definitely aren't penguins. They just tricked me by tucking their necks in. I did see a penguin before. Flew right past it. Still just beautiful. So just something to keep an eye out for is your boat ramps. There's a few here, but a few of them are tidal, so 2 hours either side of high tide at best. I launched at Sugarloaf. One thing to watch out for at Sugarloaf, it gets quite busy with the mussel farming and the ferries. There's only about 15 parks there, so they're paid. It's a paid launch ramp too, but it's not a problem. You just got to get in early, I'd say. I had a really nice chap there who works there who kind of made me a park, so that was good. Really thankful for that. Just keep an eye out for when you're planning your trip. Just how quiet is it here? All I can literally hear is the water hitting the back of the ski. I think I might just chill here for a little bit. This is the one I'm going to, that's Sugarloaf. And over here further is a second ramp, but it's a tidal one, I'm told. So it's free, you don't have to pay for it, but it is dependent on tide. Let's keep that in mind. And yeah, not a huge amount of parking. Time for a hot shower. Well, I'm trying to come up with some good words for that day, but I'm struggling, to be honest. It was so good. What didn't we have? The perfect conditions, glassy, blue sky, warm, hardly any wind. New adventures, islands I hadn't seen. Got to go really fast. Very hard to complain, if I'm honest. And this is the view we had at the end of the day from the Airbnb. Very lucky. What to do tomorrow? Well, weather's not looking too flash, so we ended up settling on a ziplining adventure and a nice walk to see a large kauri tree. Look forward to it. So I've just pulled into the Coromandel zipline tours. It's the first time I've been here too. It's a little short drive from the township. I'll get the action on the helmet if I can, and yeah, let you know how we go. I ran into a really nice guy, Mark, here, who gave us a guided tour, and this is a little train that you take up the hill to start the zip lining. Around about 3 times.
tree, so brought this place back in 1973. It's all full of clay, so he built the train mainly just to get clay inward down from the hill. But yeah, he was New Zealand's first full-time potter, so that clay was perfect for him. Everything he did was kind of for this place. Pretty amazing guy.
Right, upside down time. That was longer than I thought it was.
Yeah.
I had full trust in you there. I was like, okay, not seriously. There's also a big conservation push here with an effort to try and bring back and protect New Zealand's native wildlife. Lots of pest trapping. And there's also a little conservation walk you can do which takes you down enclosures for geckos, other New Zealand native birds. New Zealand kauri trees are huge trees and very, very old. They were a prized resource back in early European settling days, with most of them failed for use in areas like ship masts and hulls. Unfortunately, we've only got about 0.5% of all the trees that were originally there left. Very sad, but here's an example of one of those trees. Massive. So staying just over there, there's a white ute. The house on the hill, that's where I'm camped up. Beautiful. Alright, well, where do I start? 2 days of bliss. I really enjoyed this trip. Packed a lot in, so I got here pretty early yesterday, launched off and had a full day on the water. Perfect glassy conditions, beautiful weather. Island hopped around all the islands, lost my hat, got my hat back. Didn't see any dolphins, but I did see a penguin. It's a start. And a few other birds. Saw a few fish jump out, things like that. That was great. Some sort of navy vessel, and just amazing scenery. So recommend getting your ski or your boat up here. So we followed that up this morning with a trip to the Coromandel zipline tour. Really enjoyed that. The guides take you from the bottom, jump in this little train and take you up the railway, 3 turns and zigzag up the hill. And at the top you have about 8 different zip lines that take you to the bottom. Great knowledgeable guides. They teach you about the area, the kauri logging, the impact that had on the area. Little fact there is I didn't realise, which explained why we only had one non-tidal boat ramp, was that the harbour used to be really deep water, but all the runoff from the gold mining and the forestry actually filled it up. So when you see it low tide, it's just like this sort of mudflat area. It's pretty crazy. That's a bit sad, but I teach you about a guy called Barry Brickle, and he sounds like an amazing man. Single-handedly sort of recreated the ecosystem up there. So he was a potter, conservationist, a writer, and he replanted all the trees around that whole area. So it sounds like he was a really respected man in the community. I'm going to learn a bit more about him. Also did a little short walk down from Long Bay up to see some of the kauri trees. Really enjoyed that too. Yeah, and just the scenery behind me, as you can see, I've had 2 nights in this epic Airbnb, so pretty happy. Can't complain. I'd recommend you come up here and support the local economy. They've had a tough few months with all the slips and rains, and then obviously the last couple of years have been pretty tough with COVID, so they could do with a bit of a push. So come up here and support the locals. I'll see you next time.